Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Ash, also known as Fun Acceptable Views on X, and with me are my babelicious bigots, Tammy, aka Unacceptable Canadian Girl, and Suze, aka Suze Creamy. Girls, are you ready to game the system and probably run our social credit scores down to zero?
Always.
I am way below zero already. Like, I'm way below there.
I'm
But
in
yeah.
negative.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And also with us is our behind the scenes research assistant, who we like to call Jamie, also known as Dave, also known as Perception Correction. How are you doing today, Jamie?
Excellent. That's way too many names, I'm starting to think.
I know.
Way too many names.
Whatever. That's a problem for another day, though.
That's like a lot of aliases.
Yeah. Pleasure to be here, ready to go.
Like a spy. So today I wanted to talk about DEI, also known as diversity, equity, and inclusion, and ESGs, also known as environmental and social governance, that we're seeing sweep across the planet in corporations, and the effect that it's having on the products that we consume. I specifically wanted to talk for quite a portion of the episode about how these have infiltrated video games and how they're becoming woke as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And why I actually think it's almost more important than the DEI we're seeing in the educational system, the indoctrination that they're starting to put into video games. So as just a little bit of a foundation for the episode, I'm just going to define ESGs just to make sure that all you listeners out there are on the same page. So according to Wikipedia, environmental, social, and governance, ESG, is a set of aspects including environmental issues, social issues, and corporate governance that can be considered in investing. Investing with ESG considerations is sometimes referred to as responsible investing, or in more proactive cases, impact investing. The term ESG first came to prominence in a 2004 report titled Who Cares Wins, which was a joint initiative of financial institutions at the invitation of, guess who? Dun, 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 the United Nations.
Shocking.
Our favorite. By 2021, the ESG movement has grown from a UN corporate social responsibility initiative into a global phenomenon representing more than $30 trillion in assets under management. And I thought this was kind of interesting. Wikipedia even says, right on their page, criticisms of ESG vary depending on viewpoint and area of focus. These areas include data quality and a lack of standardization, evolving regulation and politics, greenwashing, and variety in the definition and assessment of social good. So even they can't hide the fact that ESGs suck. So I'm definitely going to date myself here, but I personally have been playing video games since the days of Commodore 64, Atari, and ColecoVision.
All right.
I'm talking Space Invaders, Asteroid, Maniac Mansion, Burger Time, Pac-Man, Q*bert, Jungle Hunt, and even the Gianna Sisters, which was actually the original game that gave the idea to the creators of Mario Brothers. They actually stole the Gianna Sisters, and then made it into Mario Brothers. So I was playing Gianna Sisters, I'll tell you, before Mario was even around. And I'd actually like to thank them for that, because I love the Nintendo classics like Mario Brothers, Zelda, and even Star Wars and Aladdin, which I was actually, when I was dating my hubby, we'd go up to my bedroom with the door open and we would play Aladdin.
With the door open, obviously.
I was a good little girl. I was 16. And so, like, video games have been a pretty big part of my upbringing, even though we weren't allowed to play for hours on end or anything. And we spent most of our time playing outside or making up our own fun. But video games were definitely a really fun part of my childhood. And back then, it wasn't actually very common for girls to play video games. And actually, admittedly, I really spent a lot of time watching my brother play because he always hogged the controller.
Yeah.
But it's something that just stuck with me over the years. And it actually kind of used to be something I was embarrassed about, which is kind of funny. But my hubby and I still enjoy gaming today because with the games we like to play, you can explore these beautiful open worlds. And it's basically like a choose your own adventure where you can do different quests and solve puzzles. And the graphics are so good that now it feels like you're playing a character in a movie. So we just kind of, as we started to turn away from the mainstream media for, like the movies weren't really appealing to us anymore and we didn't like the TV shows. So we've just always really enjoyed the interactive nature of video games and actually appreciate the accomplishment of improving our combat and progressing our characters through the game. So we're like big kids at heart and we still really love to play video games. And that's kind of something that we choose to do in our free time often. So somehow I'm a gamer and I never really expected that to happen. Tammy, I've heard you talk about video games before. How did that develop for you?
Yeah, I'm a gamer for sure. I grew up on a farm out in the middle of nowhere, and I had 4 brothers. And if I wanted friends, then I had to play with them. So it started with me like just kind of watching them play, and then over time I wanted to play, and much like you, it just kind of stuck. So now I game often. I've got a PS4, hopefully soon to be a PS5. I have an OG Nintendo. I have a Switch, and I've got an Oculus and an Atari somewhere.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Dude,
Mhm.
all the vintage stuff.
Yeah,
We
I
have-
really enjoy the vintage games. I actually like even on Switch, I pay the whatever the yearly fee is just to be able to play like all of the old games.
Yeah, that's fun. We have a Switch, an Oculus, and then we have a gaming laptop. So we just we can play like any game that's available on, say, like Steam, which is just like a sort of a video game aggregator that they have, and you can just you have access to lots of games that way.
I've heard
Sue-
good things about the PC gaming, but I have never tried it. The Kishi's really cool though too, if you've ever heard of that.
I have not.
Kishi is like it's a controller basically, and it hooks into your phone. So you put your phone in, much like what if you remotely use the Switch, how you kind of have the screen with the controller on the sides. That's what the Kishi makes your phone. So basically, you can sign up for like an Xbox Game Pass, and if you pay for Xbox Game Pass, you can play any Xbox game from your phone. It's pretty sweet.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we like the gaming laptop because we've gotten into modding games, and so basically that means like you modify a game. You can just add different elements to the game to kind of customize it. There's lots of developers like gamers out there who develop mods just to make them like ridiculous or awesome, improve different things. We like added like a farting mod to one of our characters, and they just run around farting all the time. And like there's just anywhere from silly to like really improving the quality of the graphics of the game. So or even like navigating around the game or something. Sometimes it's a little wonky, and so there are mods out there to help with that. Suze, how about you?
Well, I grew up playing, the original Nintendo. That's pretty much all we played when I was a kid. I had 2 brothers and they would play. So similar as you guys, I would watch them. And then I kind of started to get into it as well. Played a lot of the Mario. I loved like the duck hunt with the gun and everything. As I got older, I kind of stepped away from it. I can't call myself a gamer. I don't play often at all. I do have a PS5 because my girls got it as a gift a couple years ago. We went to my sister-in-law's house, and she's got 3 boys, and they're all big-time gamers. And my younger daughter kind of fell in love with it, and she was quite young still at the time, but she was able to like catch on to things, and she was doing really well. So my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law decided to buy my kids a PS5, so they do play a bit, but and we kind of just watch them. But yeah, that's kind of what my gaming experience is.
That's a nice gift.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jamie, you and I have talked a little bit about games, so I know that you're a gamer. Do you want to give a bit of your background in it?
Sure. Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and then computer. And then, but I haven't played a game in like, I don't know, I'm going to say 3 years, but I'm going to have to go back when the next Final Fantasy remake part comes out. So I'll be back soon, but it's been a 2 or 3 year hiatus, but I'll be back.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but the reason why we're talking about video games tonight is because they're getting woke as shit. And so you might be pretty disappointed when you come back to it.
That being said, I still like click on that YouTube video of like that latest game or whatever, or there was some game that was out recently where there was protests against the character being too like busty or her booty being too big a couple months ago. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People take time out of their life to protest something like this. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They just hate anything heteronormative.
I have a question, actually, just because you mentioned video games being woke. Has anybody watched the Fallout TV series?
We actually just started watching that.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't watched it. I actually was super excited to watch it, but then somebody told me that they have a trans character in it.
I've only actually kind of started falling asleep. Since I started looking into predictive programming, I have this resistance to like TV shows, and I'm watching this and I'm like, shit. They're prepping us for sure for some like nuclear holocaust. So I don't know. I just the whole time I was watching, I'm like, oh no. So it got a bit into my head.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but somebody was telling me that the other day, and I was like, fuck, it's in everything.
Yeah, it's actually it's a good show though so far. I will actually now that I've gotten over I have this resistance to watching most TV shows because they're so woke. So I just need to like get over that fact, and then usually I can enjoy them well enough, I guess. But
I
so
watched it. What's it about? I don't even know what it's about.
So Fallout is a video game that there's a number of them. I've only played one of the Fallout games, Fallout 4, and basically it's like a nuclear holocaust. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that word. A nuclear happening. And basically you're in this wasteland, and you've just kind of got to like pick up the pieces and find like your people. You just gather materials and guns, and you make like vegetable soup out of dirty water, and every like piece of food that you put in your mouth has radiation in it, so you have to like make your own medication to try and like mediate the the destruction it's doing to your body. And it's a pretty cool game.
They are prepping us.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Wow.
Did you guys know that by revenue, the gaming industry makes more money than the movie and music industry combined by about $100 billion per year?
Oh, wow.
So it's a really huge industry, and I actually didn't know it was that big, but I knew that like there's a lot of people who are kind of turning to video games because they're so much fun. They're so beautiful and interactive. And but I think the problem is that because the industry is now so big, and it has such a captive audience, that it has captured the interest of the woke mob as well. And
Sure. And it's also a way, like any avenue they can find to like indoctrinate, they're going to use it. So if they see that this is a multi-billion-dollar, industry, they're going to capitalize on that and woke the shit out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It can cost $250 million to $600 million to make a video game. So game development companies don't use their own money. They get funded by other entities. And that, that includes things like tax breaks, bank bailouts. They got like COVID funding. And then, of course, the ESG or environmental social governance financing, which I find very interesting. So because the video games are so expensive for them to produce, they are borrowing money from companies that adhere to these ESGs. And so that's why they've gone woke. And that's why I think it's an interesting thing, because video games have always had this sort of like this image of being like, well, for good reason. They suck. They're a time suck, and you need to turn off the video game and get your kids to go outside, right? And so there's some negative connotations to video games for good reason, but also my hubby and I have always said, like, it actually does help you to build up your your hand-eye coordination. It helps you to kind of hone your thinking skills, and it also helps you to kind of figure out a situation, and you have to persevere. Like if you get killed by a boss or by other characters in the game, you have to try again. And so it teaches you those sorts of valuable lessons in our opinions. But at the same time, you have to be careful that you're not spending so much time that your eyes, get square eyeballs just by staring at a screen all day. So you got to get out and enjoy, the real world as well. But I think that it's an interesting thing that video games are kind of becoming arguably more successful at indoctrination than the education system, because even children who are homeschooled might have access to video games. And that's something that kids, could typically play without parental involvement. The parents might be kind of keeping an eye on things, but if they're picking something that's within their sort of age group, age appropriate video game, the parents wouldn't expect them to be indoctrinated by these woke policies. So kind of just something that I'm, as I started kind of prepping for this episode, I didn't quite realize some of the dangers that are lurking by, the indoctrination that can happen in these video games. What do you guys think about that?
Sorry.
I was trying not to all talk at once. Sorry.
Oh.
I was looking at this thing that actually Jamie put up. Is this before we get back to that? That's that's
that chick character that I mentioned earlier on. So this is how she originally came out, and then they bowed to the protesters. And then if you notice, there's more coverage here and more coverage up there, and that was
Oh wow!
People went out of their way to make sure something like that happened,
and they protested because of it.
Yeah, like they started like on social media bombing friggin' Twitter accounts, negative reviews, asking for a refund for the game if they bought it, stuff like that.
Wow, what game was this?
It's called Stellar Blade.
Wow.
But we're good with men pretending to be women shaking their asses in front of kids at story time.
We sure are. We sure are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not, but they are.
That's cool. Just checking.
But what you were saying, Ash, I agree with you. Like the opportunity to indoctrinate in the games is probably a lot higher. Parents are paying more attention, I guess, to the education system than they are. A lot of parents, they stick their kids on a video game, or they stick them on a tablet because they got other things to deal with. And then you never know what they're actually looking at or playing or whatever, right? Like my own two kids, they do play this game that I am actively involved in the game that they're playing. Like I do monitor it and everything like that. But I posted about this not long ago when they came running to me because I'm very open with a lot of topics with them. So they kind of they didn't know exactly what it was, but they knew that I would want to see it. So they brought it to me right away on 2 separate occasions, individually, to show me that the pride flag was in the middle of this game, just out of nowhere.
What
And
game was it, Suze?
it was Roblox. So there, first it was my older daughter, and she's like, look, mommy. And I'm like, what are you doing in the game? She's like, oh, I'm just walking here, and this flag is just here. And I'm like, what? And then it was my other daughter, I think it was the next day or 2 days later, she was playing the same game, and in the game they have some ads, and it was an ad for some place in the States. I can't even remember what the place was. It was some park or something like that was promoting some pride something, and showed this flag as well. And she came to show me as well, and I'm like, what is this? And it was just like, it didn't even, like, the first time when my older daughter brought it to me, it was just, it didn't even serve a purpose except for programming, right? Like just to get them used to seeing that as
Yep.
frequently as possible,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Where at least, like, for my other daughter, it was an actual ad telling them about some place, right? But the first one, it's just there, and she's, why is this random flag here, right? Like, it made no sense.
Right. They've actually done that with Spider-Man as well. And so I was mentioning mods earlier, and so they have people who have tried to mod those LGBTQIA plus blah, 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 out of the games. And the sort of place where you would upload your mods to, one of them is called Nexus, and they've actually removed those mods from their site, so you can't even use those mods. You're not allowed to remove the pride flags from
Wow.
Spider-Man. And there's also another quite a new game out called Starfield, and in that game they have pronouns. And so basically, when you choose your character at the beginning of the game, you choose whether you're a he, him, a she, her, or a they, them. And
my
so someone tried to do a mod just to remove the pronouns from the game. And they also got removed from the Nexus site because of this. And they, basically, there's an article that I was reading, and it just says, this is the title of the article: Nexus mods fine with bigots leaving over removed Starfield pronoun mod.
Wow.
And it says, Nexus Mods, one of the largest online repositories of fan-made video game modifications, recently deleted a Starfield mod that removed the game's built-in option to choose a pronoun for your created character. As you might expect, this removal angered a very toxic portion of players who yelled at Nexus Mods over its choice and threatened to stop using the massive site. But Nexus Mods is sticking with its decision and has a message to angry bigots. We aren't sad to see you leave.
Wow.
And so, like, mods have been around for a long time, and it's just a way to customize your game. So if people don't want to see pronouns, why can't they have their own lived experience of the game?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't make somebody, like my next door neighbor, can still have the same game and use the pronouns, can't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so what's the fucking problem? Get
Yeah.
over it, people.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, that company, it's called Bethesda, that made Starfield, arguably some of the most popular games in gaming history, like some of the most played games. One of them is called Skyrim, for like an open world game. Bethesda, guess who they were bought out by?
Oh, God.
Bill
Ooh.
Gates.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Bill Gates. Yeah. Microsoft.
Of course.
And so Microsoft, they have their own version, Xbox, of course. And then they've now bought out Bethesda, and then Activision Blizzard, which they purchased Activision alone for $70 billion. So Bill Gates is now coming after the video games as well.
I'm so shocked. So
Yeah,
shocked.
me
Yep.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so when I was poking around about all this nonsense, I found out that one of the most major companies that offers DEI solutions to game developers is called Sweet Baby Inc. And of
Interesting name.
course, they are. I know it is interesting. Hey, I wonder if there's more to that. Of course, they are Canadian.
Well, of course,
Canadian just brings their spreads their communism all over the world. So, Sweet Baby Inc. was founded in 2018, and this is right from their website. It's a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video game industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, more inclusive for everyone. Their services. We believe you need diverse voices to solve diverse problems. Sweet Baby Inc. provides narrative consultation at any stage of development, boasting a team with vetted industry experience to best bring your story to life. Narrative. Whatever your story needs, we're here to help. We tackle narrative and character in any form, keeping emotional resonance and authenticity at the heart of our work. Representation. We believe that representation is key to connecting players and audiences, and we offer a few ways to help your team and project gain the perspective needed to make it happen. We're part of an inclusive and knowledgeable community of diverse consultants, able to cover a wide range of cultural and sensitivity topics. Our approach leads with the creation of joy in marginalized players and seeks to be additive rather than strictly corrective. And so, you get into this wokeness that's just been kind of shoved down our throats as we're just trying to play a game. And I actually want to read also so there's sort of like a little disclaimer at the beginning of one of the games that we were just playing. It's Assassin's Creed, and it's by Ubisoft, which is also a Canadian company. And the little thing that they say at the beginning is, inspired by historical events and characters, this work of fiction was designed, developed, and produced by a multicultural team of various beliefs, sexual orientations, and gender identities. And so something that we found is that, like in some of the games, you get to have sort of like, you can have a relationship with people. As you go along through the game, your character can, meet people and maybe have like a romantic encounter. And what we've noticed is that very often the options that come about are like gay options. You don't like, it's very rare now to have like a hetero relationship. It's like, you'll see like that they're flirting with you and you have a choice if you want to like go ahead and see where it takes the story. But it's like, you don't see as many of these sort of hetero romances burgeoning in the games anymore.
Wow.
So, yeah. Jamie, I was wondering if you could pull up
He just
the
pulled
first
up one thing here first, if you want to take a look at
just
it.
I was looking for the best Starfield pronoun related type thing to post here. So I found this at the top. It doesn't really matter what this person said, but the screenshot of the Reddit post is like, this is what people are thinking about nowadays when playing a video game. So the person in Reddit posted, I picked they, them with a feminine frame and a masculine walk. Played about 25 hours, and multiple times characters have referred to me using girl, woman, she. Oh, and my character's name, Chase, has never been said by Vasco. I am disappointed.
Oh, no.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
Sorry, you wanted me to pull up?
Yeah. If you could pull up the first of the 3 videos that I provided for us to listen to. This is, if it's the right one, it's Kim Belair. She's the I guess the founder of Sweet Baby Inc. And this is kind of what she has to say about yep, this is the one.
You ready?
Yep.
Like a cis hetero white dude or just adjacent to that, do not wait until the end to call your consultants. Bring them in at the beginning, and instead of asking them, hey, is this very racist thing we did very racist? Or is this deeply offensive thing we did deeply offensive? Are you hurt by it? Ask them what they want to see. Like, ask them what would thrill them, what would bring them joy. And if you have a team lead, put that request to them very, very early. If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Give you what you want.
Wow.
So,
Terrify them.
Just terrify them. So that seems, just perfect. That's what you want.
She seems nice.
Yeah.
She seems real
Lovely.
nice.
And actually, there's the other clip, the second clip that I gave you is the same woman, and she's talking about basically she sees no issue changing the narrative of historical video games because we don't know where the truth lies in these colonial tales anyways. So what's wrong with making up our own stories? And so, basically white men are not allowed to be the heroes of anything, even if they were historically the heroes in that instance. So
Wow.
maybe we'll play that clip too.
Here we go.
Possibly have been diversity back then, because my understanding of it was that this was a homogenous time. And so I think I look at it like that.
Or they make excuses for it, like, yeah, well, sure, okay, maybe there were some women in World War I that were on the front lines, but it was only in these specific situations, so we shouldn't show it in the game.
Exactly. You have so much of that happening. And for me, there's so many leaps that we already take with history. There are so many things that we decide are true. And so many of the protagonists that we choose for our games are exceptional by their nature. So why not take that further?
Wow.
I think
Can I just-
the
can I
first
just
part
say-
of that was cut out a little bit, but I don't know what happened with the first part of the video there. But I mean, basically you get the idea that, I mean, I get it that we are, they're creating a world of fantasy. Things don't have to be, by the book, but at the same time, you're also like deliberately erasing history to, promote your
Agenda.
agenda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Okay. And so this third clip that I wanted to play, this is Danny Lalandra. She's a Black woman who used to work for Sweet Baby Inc. And she now works for Electronic Arts, or also known as EA, which is a huge gaming company. And it's actually one that I have generally associated with sports games. I don't know. There used to be like the EA Sports. And so, like, yeah. So it's like, exactly. And so there's this like very, it's okay to like have some video games that, cater to men or boys. Like, come on. And so she is bragging here about, well, let's just listen to the team that she's assembled.
For Validate, it's a pretty big team. It's a crazy big team for indie games. But who is your team? Validate has a team of mostly all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me. And I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying that sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something made it okay, but it was really a microaggression. And no one wants to deal with that while they're trying to make a game that they love.
Bitch, that's
Jesus.
exactly what you're saying. It's exactly what
Wow.
So blatant racism.
But it's okay because she's Black.
I was just going to say that.
And I don't give a fuck if that offends anybody, because that's exactly what just happened there. I'm Black, so I can say whatever the fuck I want about somebody else and another race, and it's not racist. But if a white person said that exact same thing, we'd get shit on, we'd be canceled, and whatever else. It's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're exactly right.
Speaking of people that fight racism with racism, so this Ibram X Kendi guy, I don't know, he's one of those guys famous for writing one of those books that fights racism with racism. I can't remember which one, White Fragility or some shit like that. Here's a tweet that I captured myself personally from 2021. It's gone now. He deleted it because like that conservative commentator Jack Posobiec or whatever called him out, that he just pretty much disproved his own theory of white privilege and stuff. So his tweet read, more than a third of white students lied about their race on college applications, and about half of these applicants lied about being Native American. More than 3/4 of these students who lied about their race were accepted. Think about
Wow.
Wow.
Think about how he just undid his own view right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. You can only.
I'm so glad somebody has
Well,
the receipt for that.
Okay.
The grift can carry on for only so long. Anyway, sorry.
So
Good job.
Everybody knows, yes, I got laid off from my job a couple of weeks ago. So I've been actively applying for work, right? And I swear 95% of every single application that I come across is specifically asking if I'm a visible minority, if I'm a part of the LGBT, whatever, all these things. Like, why? And like some of them even have like, are you a visible minority with like a drop down of what are you? Are you Hispanic? Are you Black? Are you this? Are you that? And I'm like, why? How about you just look at my fucking resume and call me if you think I'm qualified?
Yeah. That is, I don't understand
Right?
how people can't see that it's still racism. You're still
100%
looking
it
at
is.
someone's like skin color and
Mhm.
not giving them the same opportunities as other people.
Exactly.
It's not racism if you're making fun of white people, because white people are bigots and misogynists.
Yeah. And colonialists.
Yes. And
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good times. So I wanted to also bring up something that you guys, I'm sure, will find, well, not shocking at all. Can you guess who the top 2 institutional shareholders of most of the like
BlackRock and
major-
Vanguard and State Street.
Bingo. Yeah. State Street's number 3. So
Always.
young Jamie, I don't know if you can he's away from the keyboard, but basically if you go to the Sweet Baby Inc. Kind of like all of the companies that they've represented for their DEI wokeness, so many of them, the top 2 and 3 largest investors are BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street.
Yep.
And so, I mean, it starts to kind of just all make more sense. The more we talk about these things and the more we see what's been happening, and even like the trans agenda and understanding, kind of what they're doing and how these large investment companies, they're the ones who are loaning the money to the video game industry. And so they're, putting stipulations in that they need to abide by these rules of diversity, equity, and inclusion and whatnot. Otherwise, they don't get the loans. And so that goes across the board with a lot of other companies that, why we see them going woke like this. So these 2 firms, especially BlackRock and Vanguard, they prioritize ESG investments, and it's like a major financial trend at the moment. Asset managers globally are expected to increase their ESG related assets under management to $33.9 trillion by 2026. And that's up from 18.4 trillion in 2021. So I was reading this report, and it basically said ESGs are on pace to constitute 21.5% of total global assets under management in less than 5 years. So it's a viral phenomenon because these major firms are now basically forcing corporate compliance of a company's social, environmental, and political conscience. And in order to get added into investment portfolios, as well as receive investment loans from large corporate lenders, the companies now need to publish these ESG reports to prove that they're, abiding by these ESG standards. And so that's why we're seeing, Bud Light having a trans person on their can. And we know the term "go woke, go broke," but in a way, I'm starting to understand that they almost feel like they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
They're doing it because their largest investors are telling them they have to.
But then they just deal with the backlash afterwards. Like, I don't get it. I still don't get it. Like, why?
Well, if I may.
Yeah, you may.
So I think it's just a slow burn strategy to bankrupt further ma and pa shops, and to further concentrate power. So like the credentials that they're asking of you with this ESG stuff are just like so ridiculous and so far fetched, where nobody will be able to abide by them or reach them, where it will lead to them going out of business, which just leads to more industries controlled by the state, aka communism. Like ESG is cultural Marxism, or so it's just the traditional stepping stone in a different package in my view.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I was looking at the Activision Blizzard ESG report, and they mentioned diversity 21 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, but the interesting thing is that we are now seeing people speaking with their dollars and not supporting these companies. And Bud Light is still suffering because of, the fact that they decided to go woke. And I wonder what is going to happen with all of these ESG stipulations that have kind of been put out there, now that companies are starting to see the consequences of shoving these ideologies down consumers' throats. Are they going to have to scale back and try and do a bit of damage control? What do you guys think?
Well,
Tammy?
didn't Bud Light already try to do some damage control?
Yeah, they actually apologized recently for putting a trans person, Dylan Mulvaney, on their can. And what was it? It's going to be like the summer of, what was it? Oh, I forget. It was like the summer of not men, but the summer of frat, or I don't know. Like basically, they're just going fully overboard the other direction.
I'm trying to get that clientele back.
Yeah, Tammy, you're quiet over
same
there.
thing happened with Sports Illustrated.
With who?
Mhm.
With Sports Illustrated, they put I can't remember a trans. What is it if you're a girl, trans woman?
Mhm.
On the cover, and people lost their shit. And so now they're trying to, well, I think ultimately, I think they're on the brink of bankruptcy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they are. Tammy, you're
I
coming in and out a bit.
Yeah, I hear it too.
You're sounding a bit choppy over there.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
What about Calvin Klein? Didn't they do an ad with like a pregnant man? Did
What?
anybody
Oh,
see that one?
probably.
Yeah, Jamie, see if you can pull that up. There was a Calvin Klein ad with, I'm pretty sure it was Calvin Klein with like a pregnant man on the cover. I don't know if it was real. Maybe somebody made it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell these days. Well,
Right? Like,
even Target. So Target was really going all in on their LGBTQIA plus LMNOP stuff last year, and they even had swimsuits with spots where you could tuck your wiener into the
there
front
it is.
of the swimsuit. And yeah,
Calvin Klein features pregnant transgender man. See,
there you go.
But
there you
go.
go.
Target did that last summer, but then they doubled down and did it again over Christmas time.
Right.
They
well,
had like crazy LGBT Christmas stuff to get.
Yeah. And apparently, Target this year has really changed. They've really, let's say, downsized the amount of LGBTQ children's clothing that they're putting out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So I think they are scaling back, and I think even like I don't think they're doing like the swimwear with the tuckable pouch for ding dongs. So so I mean, I think we just have to keep voting with our dollars, and not that we have much money left. It's Justin Trudeau has kind of ruined that, but you know,
Right?
the little pittance that we have left.
Did you guys know that Indigo Books sells dildos? Like,
What?
if you walk into the store, there's a fucking whole section like with sex toys right on the fucking shelf.
No, they don't. Are you serious?
I swear to God. Jamie, see if you can find it. I'm not even kidding.
Oh my.
Now,
That
I
is
know-
unbelievable.
I had seen like, this is like a year ago, maybe. I had seen like people like freaking out. Like I had seen some videos like, you know, boycott Indigo, whatever type shit. So I don't know what state it's at now, but yeah. Fucking dildo.
That is wild.
Right?
Like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
Why?
remember what the section was that they sell it on and why or what it's called. I can't remember.
Wow. That who's going into Indigo and buying a sex toy?
Right.
I mean, that's how I like to spend my Friday nights.
There we go. Jamie found it.
What?
You can buy it online too. See? What the fuck?
What is it called?
Hold on, they have it's a whole sex toys or like sex whatever section in their online shop.
Wellness and
That's
self-care.
what's it under. Get wellness and self-care. That's it. That's what it's under.
What is it
So
called?
somebody-
The Dame Dip.
The Dame Dip vibrator.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, so someone had gone into the store, did a video, and like freaked out, like, why do you have this on your shelves? Like, open the kids come in here, like, what the fuck? And they're like, this is the wellness section. This is stuff that we sell in the wellness section, so that's why it's here. Like,
Oh
what?
wow.
Oh,
Look at that one.
curved internal vibrator, 5 speeds. Woo!
That we should get that and send it to that chick we were fighting with earlier this week.
Staff pick.
It's a staff pick.
It really is. Oh,
Bunch of
Come
freaks working at
on.
Indigo.
Now we know why they're always smiling at Indigo.
Oh man, that's funny.
Wow.
Load more, Jamie. Load more. What is this thing? Are those? Yeah, that thing. What the
Warming
fuck?
body wrap.
Mustard.
Oh my God.
mustard. Wow.
Wow.
So, well,
Oh, I do like
That's
the
a good
facial rollers though.
Yeah, but you see, they got the dildos together with the fucking facial rollers. Like, what is
Yeah.
this?
Oh, the
What's it-
Nova 2 vibrator in fuchsia. Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
So, like, naturally, I found this out, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm never bringing my kids to fucking Indigo. Like,
No
And then
shit.
after you use that thing, you could apply some Busy Bees Manny nail wrap to your nails.
there you go. Sorry, Dad.
sorry,
I haven't done one of those in a while.
Sorry, Ashley's dad.
But wait, there's more.
Ooh.
Oh,
$309.
Soraya 2 vibrator. It's got some chrome action on it.
$309 for this thing? Are these people insane?
$309.
Wow. And it's
Like,
got-
what is it doing for you?
it's got 4.5 stars.
Not even 5 stars.
Ashley's worried about the star rating.
One very unsatisfied customer in here.
If you're the kind of person that
What does that say?
If you're the kind of person that thinks 2 finishes are better than 1, you're in for a treat. Soraya 2 is the world's most luxurious rabbit massager that offers optimized dual stimulation for both clit and Grafenberg spot climax. Wow. On a whole new level. With its luxurious design and unmistakable shape, Soraya 2 is the perfect combination of power and precision. Sounds like a DeWalt driver. Designed to enhance clit stimulation and redefine internal sensations. This dual massager is softer, smoother, and more flexible than ever before, meaning limitless pleasure is only a touch away. Woo!
Oh my God. What is
Wow.
this? You may also like, what are these like books that go with
This,
I know.
you may also like This Summer Will Be Different, Onyx Storm, or a gift card
a gift card.
to buy another Soraya
Oh my
2.
God. Yeah. So now you know.
Share the
You
love.
need a dildo. Indigo's got you covered.
Wow.
Or a vibrator or
Next time I'm
doubt.
feeling lonely on a weekend, I know where
Anal
I'm
beads.
headed.
whatever you guys need.
Yeah. Pick up a good
Wow.
old romance novel and a dildo.
And your eye patches. Don't forget your eye patches.
Yes. And your nail wraps.
They've really branched out.
They really have. And they sell blankies too. So you can also, pick up a blankie while you're there.
There you go.
Your one-stop
Keep
shop.
it undercover.
It is. Yeah. Get a blankie to cover up your Soraya too.
I'd like to call out the DEI hypocrisy of this billionaire named Mark Cuban. Did you guys hear about
Good
this
old
stuff?
Mark Cuban.
How he has like businesses on the side because he owns the Dallas Mavericks, but on the side he has whatever businesses, and he's like a big advocate for the whole DEI thing. So then someone was calling him out about like, what about your basketball team? How come you don't get short Asian girls playing on it, right? So then this one Twitter account just took it to the next level and kind of became like this Twitter sensation. So I think it started off with this tweet where her saying, "Hello, Mr. Cuban. I'm Wei. You know me. I'm Chinese international student, soon Maverick DEI superstar. Many million people want me to be NBA superstar. You never respond. This very sad. I know reason. You a money man. You a money man. You only discussion money. I discuss money with you today." Anyways, so this chick took it to
Wow.
the next level and started posting stuff like this. So she got blocked by him eventually because she started asking stuff like when contract. She started putting herself in like pictures with like the Mavericks on the court and stuff. So she got blocked by him, and then her when she got blocked, this was the tweet she posted. "Oh no, my friend, this most depression. My employer Mark Cuban block. My dream be #1 Maverick DEI player. No more. Now I'm most motivate. Fight for DEI in all industry. This most injustice. I be Chinese Martin. Leave civil right movement. Fight for justice."
Oh my God.
Follow Wei Wu on X if you're not. But yeah.
I'm crying.
That's hilarious.
When contract. Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So something shady that I actually did hear that they do is that they, right before they're about to do their yearly reports, they will talk all about their, DEI and ESG scores and, what they've been doing within the company to, make sure that they're ticking all the boxes. But then as soon as if you watch some of their stocks and what they buy and trade, as soon as they're done with that report, you'll see all those a whole bunch of those stocks get dumped, and then they buy the gambling sites, and then they go make their money back on all the stuff that people actually want to do.
Oh wow.
And so that's a funny thing that you bring up the Mavericks, because people just want to freaking watch some basketball. They don't want DEI in the middle of their sports. And
Well, haven't
really
they
funny.
Haven't they tried to infiltrate every major sport
Yes.
league?
They
It's
have.
ridiculous. And like
Well,
hockey players are getting canceled and shit because they refuse to fucking wrap a rainbow ribbon around their stick and stupid shit like that.
look at the Edmonton Oilers. They sold out and had like rainbow tape hockey night. I was done after that. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
And I think it's because sports is one of the last actual, live audiences that they have access to. It's like one of the last things where a whole collective of people will sit down, regardless of their, nationality or creed or race or gender. They'll watch sports. I mean, maybe not gender, but you know what I mean? Like, you have this active live audience, and now they're trying to infiltrate that too, because you can't you almost can't do anything about it. It's right there in the open live.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's almost like a social credit score for businesses. Actually, it is a social credit score for businesses.
It is. That is what ESGs are. So now corporations get rated. They get an ESG score based on, how many boxes they're ticking. And that's why these video game companies are hiring companies like Sweet Baby Inc. to basically that ups their social credit score or their, ESG score, so that they can continue to get the funding from the, BlackRocks and Vanguards and State Streets and, those types
Yeah.
of things. So,
Well, wasn't it Joe Rogan that just did a podcast, and I can't remember who he had on, but they talked about ESGs for like the entirety of the podcast.
oh, really? I should listen to that.
Patrick did whatever that guy's name is. Patrick Bet David or Bet Patrick David.
Yeah. Yeah,
Patrick
you're right.
Bet David.
It would have been good for me to listen to that first.
Yeah, honestly, I thought when you said that this was your topic, I was like, oh, she must have listened to that podcast. But
No.
yeah, they talk about it, and I remember listening to it. I don't know, what was that, like 2 weeks ago, Dave? It was a recent one.
Actual podcast, probably, yeah. Like I would say more 2 months ago, but it keeps getting reposted and shit by people.
Yeah, it was really good though, and that was the first time I had ever heard of it, and I was like, holy shit, no wonder all these companies are doing that. But even after, and this kind of annoyed me too, even after all that shit happened with Bud Light, now Kid Rock is like best friends with the owners.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm not even joking. So Kid Rock went back on Joe Rogan. I don't know how long ago it was, maybe 3 months ago or something. Could be wrong about that, but it was recent. And they started talking about like that whole stint where he shot the beer, which everybody was a big fan of. And then he's like, yeah, then they contacted me afterwards or whatever. And, we ended up, we sat down, we talked, and like, we're really good friends now. And they tried to like work together to come up with a commercial together. And I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Wow.
So now I feel like he's just a sellout, and
Yeah.
probably it was just all a publicity stunt, just like everything is. But I was really disappointed by that.
Yeah.
Huh.
That is disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, it is, because it was like finally somebody that is, a relatively big name is like standing up against this shit. And then it was like, just kidding. We're best friends now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Maybe
Well-
they had something on him. Maybe,
probably.
maybe he drank the gold juice and that he needed to be reminded. Like, hey, Mr. Rock,
Yeah. Could be.
you know that video we got about you? Yeah. I suggest you
Yeah.
go make friends with Bud Light. Go make friends with Bud Light.
Yeah, probably.
That checks out.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that's probably a pretty good place to end it for today.
Fuck
Suze,
you,
I know
Kid Rock.
You got some stuff to do. So Suze, did you know what you're doing for your next topic?
I have some ideas, but I'm not even going to bother mentioning because it's probably going to change. So,
All right. Sounds good.
I'll just leave it a surprise, everybody. Surprise.
All right. Tammy, do you have any final thoughts for the evening?
I don't like DEI. And
look at it.
actually, since we're on this topic, one thing I did want to say, and I was pissed about this, was I had to do the stupid unconscious bias training for work.
No.
Recently.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
And they just set you up for fucking failure. That's all it is. They basically put this thing up on the screen and you had to pick out of like, I don't know, an Asian, a black person, an East Indian person. Like it was a bunch of different people. Who was the poorest?
Are you joking?
No. And I'm like, you're
No.
literally setting me up for fucking failure.
Wow.
Like, so
Wow.
I didn't like, it
What's
was
wrong
so
with being
stupid.
successful? Don't you want
Right?
someone who's successful and knows how to make some money? Like
But-
for
but
your
this was, like,
company
the
that wants you to make
whole-
money?
Right. This was the whole, oh my gosh. Anyways, I was super pissed when I did it because I was like, I'm legitimately being set up for failure and being told that I have a bias when I'm only given 4 choices and the question is ridiculous to start. And the only thing that was good that came out of it was that it pissed off so many people in my workplace that that's all people have been talking about for like the last month since it happened.
Oh wow.
And
Well, good.
everybody was like, this is bullshit and whatever. And now we're having like a transphobia day.
Oh God.
And
Oh.
I'm like, I'm just done. I'm so done. I don't care what people want to do. I don't care if you think you're a fucking unicorn. Just don't shove it down my throat. Those are my final thoughts. Good day.
I am a unicorn, by the way. Just letting you know.
Sue's final thoughts.
I'm a unicorn. I just said my final thought.
All right.
I am a unicorn, and don't forget, Indigo sells dildos. Good night, everybody.
Young Jamie, anything to wrap it up?
All unicorn lives matter.
On that note, well, everyone, thanks for joining us again for another episode of the broadcast. Please like and subscribe and tell everyone you know about us. If you think they'll like the podcast, let them know. If you think they won't like the podcast, well,
Let
tell
them
me,
know anyways.
tell
Yeah.
them to fuck off. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.